All right, welcome back. Before we start the show off today, it's our favorite time of the year, March Madness. And before we get started with the show, I want to ask the fellas, we all had disappointments, heartbreak. So, what's one NCAA tournament game that broke your heart the most? We're going to let the newcomer Marcus go first. What you got, Marcus?
Man, 2012, Mizzou, Norfolk State. I'm a huge Mizzou fan. They was a 2 seed. Norfolk State was 15. I thought that was our year. And it was like, I think that was like one of the first times two upset of the 15 at that time.
That's probably, no, it's something happened.
It was something early on, but it had been a while.
I think Syracuse was one of the first.
It had been a while. I thought that was our year right there.
Buster.
That was crazy.
They wasn't winning nothing.
They probably was gonna lose second round.
They probably would have, but it was just like
Who was on that team?
Who was there? Marcus Dimon, Kim English, Phil Pressey.
Well, the Pressey boys on that team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt and Phil, yeah. Who was it Lawrence Bowers? I think he was the.
That's why we don't remember him. First round.
Yeah.
But
when you a fan, you remember it.
What you got, Big Ralph?
I got Arizona 04-05 team when they lost to Illinois. They lost to Illinois when D. Will hit the big shot uphill when they played uphill and it was uphill in the ball and they beat them, man. That was
Elite Eight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was tough, man. I had Arizona to win it that year, man. It was God heavy, Stoudemire, Shakur. It was tough, man. Adams, I think Channing Frye was on that team too. Man, they was tough, man. So that was my heartbreak, man. I thought they was gonna beat them that year, but we all know what ended up happening. So
for me, I got a double bubble. So probably my biggest heartache was Carolina lost to Villanova at the buzzer.
Yes.
So Vince Griffin, I blame you. You know why? Because you came and threw my team bad luck. Carolina lose, and that hurt. Probably the other game that hurt the most was when UNLV lost to Duke. That's probably the reason I hate Duke now. I felt like that was a black eye on Black history. UNLV to lose to Duke.
Come on, man. Duke was the better team, man.
Who was that? Greg Anthony, Larry Johnson, all them.
When they were undefeated during the season.
Had to play Hank Greenhill and Bobby Hurley late now.
So those two would be equally hurtful. But before we get started, everybody out there, we got a tournament challenge for all y'all NCAA people who always in my inbox, how about they pick good brackets. The know-it-alls had their own tournament challenge this year. So all y'all who think y'all could play, we got a 2-time champ, Lizelle, you going down. I already know, Lizelle, you had your kids pick your teams for you the last 2 years. That's the only reason you won. So we're going to take you down. So it's $20 a bracket. Winner take all. So the more people get in, the bigger the pot.
That's a good payday right there.
All y'all who think y'all can make a perfect bracket or a good bracket, log on to the Know It All Tournament Challenge. You're gonna be on the ESPN site and see what you could do.
Ready to connect.
What the hell? Tim, kick the intro.
I'm like.
We back. Talking Talking Sports with the Know-It-Alls. With your host, Jimmy the Know-It-All. Today I got, as you can see, we don't have Mr. Trash Bag himself on the show. But we have a special guest who's just as trash. Our boy Marcus, he in town from Georgia.
I'm in Atlanta.
Boston.
Yeah.
Baltimore. He's somewhere.
He's out here.
All up and down the east.
Boy, he in town. This is his birthday, so we brought him on the Know-It-Alls. So of course, we fit him in the trash bag section. So he gonna be on here with us today. Of course, we've got Big Lurch, Big Ralph on the show. So today's episode is about our favorite time of the year. One of our favorite times, March Madness. The thing about March Madness is anything can happen. It's always gonna be some upsets.
12-5 game always.
Bracket busters every year, and that's what's so exciting. So as we tape the show, the brackets aren't out yet, so we really can't discuss what we think gonna happen with the tournament. Of course, I want Carolina to win, but that's something different.
Duke all the way.
So what we gonna do? We're gonna take it back a little bit. We're gonna talk about our favorite teams that we've seen, and we'll talk about our favorite teams, our favorite players, and we're going to give the women some love. We're going to talk about our top 3 favorite women. So I'm going to start off today with the women. So my favorite 3 was probably my first one, probably Tramika Holslaw from Tennessee. She was a straight killer dog. She had the New York flavor in her game. She really made me watch women basketball even more. I just liked her overall game. I've always liked Tennessee for some reason. Even back when I was a shorty, I've always liked Tennessee. It was just something about, they remind me of Marshall. Yeah. They remind me of Marshall High School.
Facts.
Dorothy Gators.
Pat Summit.
She did.
And Dorothy Gators. They reminded me of each other. And the machine Tennessee was always reminded me of Marshall. And they always had a player remind me of somebody they had at Marshall. So I'm going to say Tramika as 1. Number 2 is going to be probably my favorite college player. And I ain't going to say I hate to say it. This is the first basketball player I've ever had a crush on. Dawn Staley.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's
Dawn Staley, man, she made me watch. That's when I really started watching women ball. It was like, I thought a lady that was cute that could hoop, so I really liked her. And my third girl is Skyla Diggins, just because she was a hooper, but she went to Notre Dame. Anybody know me other than Carolina, Notre Dame is probably my favorite school. And she was a hooper, she was a lefty.
And she fine as hell.
Yeah, that's true. She's fine too. So those are my 3 favorites.
Let's not objectify them.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say I don't want them after me. The Me Too movement.
Right.
I don't mean nothing. So those my 3. I'm gonna push it over to Marcus. Who you got, Marcus?
Man, first one, Tamika Catchings. That's my first one. Same thing with that Tennessee, like that run that Tennessee had, 90s, 2000s, early 2000s. I just like steady watching women's basketball at that time. Same thing what you said about Pat Summitt and Dorothy Gators. Just watching them, they remind me the same. Us being from Chicago, what Marshall was doing was a whole nother thing. You ain't never seen nothing like that what Marshall was doing. So, but Tamika definitely is number 1. Second one would be Jackie Styles. What she did in Missouri State, like she put them on the map.
Straight gunner.
Yeah, she was a gunner for real. Does she still hold the record? I think somebody broke it. That scoring record.
I'm not sure, and normally I'll be up on my stats.
Yeah, I think somebody.
No, she was a gunner.
Yeah, I can't remember if somebody broke it or not, but regardless, what she did down in the mid major and was just like When they was playing big teams too, she was putting
Buckets.
buckets on people's heads.
Buckets.
Third one, definitely. Let me think. That's gonna be. Third one, I would say.
A stump the swab moment, ladies and
Third one, it might have been, man, what Sue was doing at UConn back in, like, them UConn teams too back in the day. I would definitely say Sue Bird. What Sue Bird did, you know what I mean, her and Taurasi, I'll put 3A and 3B for both of them, I would definitely say. What they did back then.
Yeah. I got you. Who you got, Big Ralph?
Well, I gotta agree with Jimmy. Shamika Holdscott's my all-time favorite on the girls' tip. But so I'm gonna leave her out of this one. I'm gonna go Diana Taurasi first. Like that girl played like a dude. Like she one of the main reasons why I started watching women's college basketball again was because of her. Like straight, I thought she could literally play in the NBA. She got rings like Steph Curry and all.
She got that New York swag. She got
that dog in her. I love Diana Taurasi. So I think that's enough said about her. Then I have to go another UConn player, Maya Moore. Maya Moore was so cold.
Dirty Gino. She was supposed to go to Tennessee. And did some old cutthroat. That's why I don't like UConn now. But
hater. But Maya Moore was cold, man. Like she reminded me like a girl version like Mello. Like her game was smooth.
Yeah.
She had the mid range, you couldn't guard her. Then she had a little style with it. And she had, bigger hands, so she always, style with the layups and all that. So, and then I got a 3A and 3B, too. I'm going to go Ivory Latta, 3A. What she did.
That's the name they got to do. We know you non-sports people.
Don't know who that is.
Gotta Google her.
Yep.
So that's why when you come on the know-it-alls, you got to know what you're talking about. Because we're going to pull stuff out I had on y'all.
Bro, I had to just think about it. She had handles too,
yes,
boy.
Ivory Latta, she was just like Iverson. Her favorite player was Iverson.
Yeah.
I remember how she killed the tournament. And Iverson came to one of those games. She was killing. She went to North Carolina, but that girl got game. And then, more recent, Asia Wilson. One of Don Staley products. And she killed for South Carolina. Big girl, lefty. Hoop, look what she doing in the WNBA now. So
facts.
So all I can say about them four women right there, all of them good.
Yeah, that was cool. But before we go on, I already know the Terry Brown, the Rodneys. I'm looking dead in the camera talking to y'all. Our list is consisting of who we've seen play. We're not talking about over history. I already know when y'all see this, y'all gonna comment, what about Cheryl Miller? What about Cheryl Swoops? What about Lisa Leslie? I seen Cheryl Swoops. I seen Lisa Leslie. They was
called the McGee twins.
Rebecca Lobo. I seen all them. Teresa Edwards. I seen all them.
Oh, yeah.
So they was cool. They was cool, but once again, this is our objective. This is our prerogative. So, oh well. But I already know y'all gonna be on that complaint. Moving on.
Or them old USC women's teams right today.
Moving on. So we're going to get into, at first I was going to do teams. But we're going to stick with the player aspect. So there been a lot of players that I know all of us liked. And one of the reasons I started this podcast, I wanted the perspective from different age groups. Because of who we see, and what I may like as a player, you may not like, or Ralph may not like. Right. With Ralph being a big man, he may like big men more. Us being small or shorter, we may like guards more. But it depends. So we're gonna go into the top 5 players that we've seen, not a YouTube channel or history. Because Terry, Rodney, once again, y'all gonna go, sorry, Daddy. I hate to do this to you, Daddy. My daddy gonna say, what about Lou Alcindor? Wow. I ain't seen Lou Alcindor, Daddy. And my daddy gonna get me for busting them out like this, too. But players we've seen play. I'm a history buff. My cousin Leroy, I gotta call you and Juan out, too, because I know y'all gonna say something, too. I'm putting y'all on blast too. love y'all. Y'all my family, but I gotta mess with y'all too. So I'm gonna let Marcus go first. Who are 5 players that you really enjoyed watching play in college? And before you start, Marcus, this ain't got nothing to do with their NBA career. Because a lot of y'all so-called know-it-alls, well, so-and-so killed in the pros, he ain't killing the we talking about as a college player only. Remedials. Yeah, I called y'all that. So, saying that, what you got, Marcus?
Yeah, it's funny you bring it up, saying like, Ralph might be a big man. He might have top 5 might be big man. We small.
Right.
Honestly, my top 5 are all guards. So like small guards. My number 1, Kemba Walker. What he did. Even if you watch Kemba before that, the Big East run he had. He was killing it on the
that Big East run was legendary.
Yeah, that was legendary. But if you like
crossover step back,
put the big man in Pittsburgh on the ground, boy. That probably got him drafted.
Yeah, but if you watch, definitely got him drafted.
That play alone got him drafted.
It definitely got him drafted. But like if you watch that, like I was living on the East Coast at the time, so there was a lot of UConn games. Even though, I'm not a huge UConn fan, but just watching him, what he was doing. It was just legendary. Like, it's crazy, that New York swag, everything. Number 2, definitely, I don't know how y'all going to feel about this one, but Jamir Nelson, what he did when he was at St. Joe's.
Hey, man, this your list, man.
Jamir killed him and Delonte West killing together.
Yeah, that's St. Joe's.
That was a squad.
Yeah, that's St.
I ain't knocking what you pick, man. That's your prerogative.
That St. Joe's team was just like, with them being a mid-major and stuff like that.
They made me money because I knew they weren't going to win it all. They made me a bunch of money.
Yeah, but just watching them.
They upset a lot of people, too.
They upset a lot of people, but just watching them, that team.
He evolved, though.
Yeah, Jamir Nelson definitely my second one. KD, 3. That's the only guard I don't have on my list. Man, what KD did that one year.
You should have went to Carolina. But
gladly he didn't.
He got paid. It was a pay-to-play situation down there. They gave him a strong offer, like Will Wade. You know what I mean?
Buckets.
He put up buckets for real.
Walking bucket from day one.
Yeah.
And they had a good squad. TJ Ford, what's my man?
TJ Ford.
No, he was before that. He was like,
what
you
call it? The Augustine.
Yeah, Augustine.
The what you call it kid was down there too, wasn't he? That's the defensive stopper. No, that's the defensive stopper
play
now.
with the Bucks now. I mean, play with the
Heat.
PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker was down there.
Yeah, PJ was there. Yeah, that's why they, that whole situation with them in that game they played, they was arguing and stuff like that. People was just like, they homies, That's 3 so far, right? Or 2? 3. Okay. 4th one, AI. You can't.
I wasn't a fan of AI.
You wasn't?
What
was that?
In college.
I think Ray was way better. That's my opinion.
And see, they my age, so I think AI was nice, but considering your age, I can see that. So
I think what game was it? I think was it a NCAA game when he dunked on UMass. Yeah, I remember that was like watching AI because I'm a little bit younger. That was the time I really just started getting into basketball. College basketball is like my favorite sport in the world. So just watching what he was doing, it was crazy. And then 5th one, that team, like I said, that Georgetown team, watching AI. Same thing watching University of Arizona. What was that, 97? Watching Bibby and them. Bibby's my 5. Bibby's my 5th one. Just watching him play, watching that team. I was a huge fan of that team.
I'm gonna give you that, but I hated that team.
Yeah.
They beat Carolina.
Yeah.
So they beat Carolina close, so I ain't never liked that. But Bibby was decent. That's a good list, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good list. Who you got, Big Ralph?
Well, I'm gonna go in my backwards order. I'm gonna start off with Kenyon Martin. Martin killed in Cincinnati
before he broke his leg.
Before he tore his leg up, but yeah,
Kenyon Martin. Did he break his leg or tear his leg? He broke his leg. Yeah.
Kenyon Martin, killer, man. I ain't never seen nobody younger jumping out the gym like that at that time. Being that age, that dude was killer. No post moves, just straight athleticism. Yeah. So that Kenyon Martin was the dog back then. I'm not gonna say Kevin Durant. I'm gonna use Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley, freshman year was a double machine, 24 plus. And even though they had him listed at 6'10", we all know he really about 6'8", maybe at best. But
Yeah.
lefty is hard. Anybody know basketball know it's hard to guard any left-hand player. And that dude had it all. He was a mid-range assassin as well. Not really a good three-point shooter. Was real athletic. He put that K-State team on the map because Kansas State was struggling for years before he got the bag.
He got the bag too.
He got the bag. His NBA career sucked, but he did what he had to do. Everybody's favorite player to hate, JJ Reddick.
You know what?
I knew I was putting him on.
I hate Duke, but I respected JJ Reddick. He wasn't the Duke punk to me. You know, the
Christian Laettner type,
the typical type
you know
of
what,
player. Christian Laettner wasn't really
I don't even consider him a punk. Christian Laettner had game. Christian Laettner was before his time to me. Christian Laettner was Kevin Love, what Kevin Love is now. Christian Laettner was in the 90s. He was the first stretch four, basically.
Yeah.
The first modern stretch four. I think he was before his time. I think he would be great with Golden State right now.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
But,
he should have been born a couple years, like 20
about
years
10
later.
years later.
Yeah.
he was
20 years.
As much as I hated
Duke,
Duke, Christian Laettner was tough. I seen him give as a freshman. He gave more in the business. I seen him school Shaq. A lot of people was upset that Shaq didn't make the dream team, and he did. But as a college player at that time, he was better than Shaq. You know what I'm saying? And Shaq even admitted it. But Laettner is probably, in my eye, probably top 5 college players all time. What he accomplished in college, I would put him in the top 5. So who else you got though?
Yeah. But JJ, also this is one of my favorite players of all time.
I already know where you finna
go.
go.
It's Timmy D.
I knew
Tim
it.
Duncan.
I knew it.
This is how I started out liking Tim Duncan. Had never heard of him beforehand, but when he got to Wake Forest, the 4 years he played there, that boy monster. Won every National Player of the Year award you go in. Killed with them, double machine. And it just so happened he got drafted by the Spurs and made me like the Spurs more after that. So, I mean, I know that's Jimmy, quote-unquote, favorite.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He
agrees. He definitely agrees.
Right. I told both of y'all that he was going to be a Spurs.
That man, the way Tim Duncan was just killing, he was quiet assassin, man. I just love that man game. And then my last two, really, is Melo. Man, Melo had one of the best 1 years ever for a college player. I mean, he didn't really do that well during the whole season, but the tournament, that boy killed all the way up to the national championship. And then number 1, Jay Will. Jay Will was a dog.
Jay Will probably the second player that I've liked. Jay Will, the Maryland game when they came back sold me on Jay Will.
Jay Will was cold, man.
Jay Will, they don't give him. I think Jay Will is the coldest college guard in the last 25 years.
Yeah,
Jay Will was
probably
cold.
I ain't gonna say 30. I give him since the year 2000. I think Jay Will is the coldest college guard since 2000.
I think Kyrie would have got up there with him had he not got hurt his big toe. He would have been almost right there with him because the impact he made on just them few short games that he played, he would have been like almost right there because he was killing. People couldn't guard him.
Yeah.
And so I think Kyrie would have been right there, but Jay Will by far to me my number 1. Like, Duke.
I'm not a fan. Any Duke.
You know, I gotta have my Duke player as number 1.
We know.
My five. I'm from an era where you got to grow up with a team. And guys stayed in college longer, and I think that's why guys my age, we always go back to the 90s because you was able to grow with a team. You was able to see them as a freshman and get better, and which made you really enjoy those players more. So my 5 gonna be a little different because I think when you're a certain age, between 14, 13, and probably 18, is when you really start looking at college. And if you, I don't care how, even with you guys, I listen to you guys, like when y'all was around 13, 14, is when y'all start really.
You pick a side.
And y'all like, and your favorite player be from the 13 to 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
So saying that, my five gonna consist of, probably my favorite guard that I seen, Kenny Anderson from Georgia Tech.
New York handled.
I had a lot of debates in the barbershop as a college player. Who was better, Iverson, J. Will, Kenny Anderson, Chris Jackson.
Chris Jackson was tall too.
I had those four because of the impact, and Kenny Anderson 2 years was amazing. The reason probably why I rock with him so hard, his crossover on Bobby Hurley. We gonna run that clip. We gonna run that highlight, Tim. I'm already claiming it. That's probably the greatest move ever. Street ball and one move in the middle of a game on Saturday, and Dick Vitale almost had a heart attack. Kenny Anderson for me did it. Larry Johnson was my boy. Larry Johnson made me love UNLV. Larry Johnson probably for me was the first ghetto dude. Mm-hmm. Everybody got a dude in the hood who didn't make it, but was just hood, who was cold. Yeah. I already know who y'all gonna say. I ain't gonna even say his name, but I already know who y'all gonna say probably. Probably trash or something like that, but that's before y'all.
You wild. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Trash.
Yes,
Trash
sir.
was cold,
yes,
boy.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Trash was cold, man. I'm saying. And he's still out here helping people these days, right. Giving people walking
and
bucket.
Giving advice and stuff.
Yeah.
So
you definitely right on that one.
On the west side, we had my man, and I know my people out west going, my boy Raymond. Raymond went to Marshall. My old man used to coach him. Raymond was about 6'7". Buckets. It was ghetto. My man got his foot cut off, got his foot ran over by the police, and I still seen him come to the park and get niggas buckets. So Larry Johnson was that ghetto hooper to me.
He was hooper with a goal too. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Part in the middle of his head.
Part in the middle of his head. And just
yelling in people's face.
Footwork.
Yeah. It was strong as an ox.
He reminded me of Barkley. And Barkley is probably one of my four favorite players. So LJ is my number 2. Shaq is number 3. Shaq was at LSU, man. He was like a phenomenon. And I ain't seen no center like him since.
Probably ever.
So Shaq for me. Chris Webber, my number 4. Them Fab 5 teams. Chris Webb was he was nasty. At Michigan, he was nasty. My 5th player gonna be Big Dog.
Walking bucket.
Big Dog was at Purdue giving buckets. And I followed since Big Dog ain't too much older than me. I remember from high school, McDonald's game, but what he did at Purdue was nasty.
1,700 points, 2 years.
He from Gary, right?
He from
Gary. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Might as well be from Chicago.
Yeah, basically.
I'm gonna give a couple honorable mentions. My boy Fry, I know you looking. The Ty days. Ty Day was cold. Ty Day was cold.
He was alright.
Who else? I'm gonna give it to Grant Hill, man.
What? You gave a Duke player some acknowledgement? Something got to be wrong with you today.
I give it to Grant Hill. Grant Hill was cold.
You sure you got COVID?
Nah. And my last one
COVID brain right now.
Gonna be Cal Bachaney. In Indiana. CC was smooth, silky, smooth left-hander. So we used to rock with CC.
But a fun fact about him, when they came out with the movie Blue Chips, that's all they talked about in there was Cal Bachaney. How you got to stop Cal Bachaney.
Smooth.
Yeah, Cal was nice. I just hate Indiana players.
He was silky smooth.
Jimmy, let me ask you a question. You put Shaq on there, right? Us being from Chicago, we love high school basketball. We love people from Chicago. How would you feel about Jamie Brandon that was on that team with him?
As a high school player, I've told many people I think Jamie Brandon was probably the coldest dude I ever seen in high school. Jamie Brandon is the first dude I seen for the old school guys. he the first dude I seen at YVI that I just sat down and just watched.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I still see Jamie Brandon. He reffing. Now he done reffed a couple of my son's games for AAU. But Jamie Brandon, as a Chicago high school player, from my eyes, who I seen, Jamie Brandon probably the coldest dude I seen.
He was averaging like what down at LSU, like 19, 20 or something like that.
He probably,
his third year.
They had him out of position.
Yeah,
because he was gonna go to Illinois.
He should have never went to LSU.
He was gonna go to Illinois, but Illinois got in trouble.
Yeah,
and he didn't go there. He averaged between like 15 to 18. Jamie Brandon was like 6'4". Jamie Brandon was nasty.
I feel like nobody like when them LSU teams.
He's a forgotten gem. Jamie Brandon is a kid that they don't talk about as far as
college players or just in general. Just in general. Yeah.
Because he went to LSU, but just in general, you know, we could do a whole nother show just on Illinois high school ball.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the players that came out of Chicago. Shout out Q1. Shout out Mark Miller. You know, shout out Michael Herman. You know, a lot of guys, man. So we
that's definitely like two players, definitely for sure. I think one of them, the one I'm gonna name, definitely picked the wrong school. Should never went there. Sean Dockery.
Sean never went to
Doc. Should have. I used to always say my Doc should have never went to Duke. Should have went to Illinois or somewhere else. And then a lot of people don't give a lot of credit to Sharon Collins. Sharon Collins murdered people.
Sharon, that's a good one.
People don't die again. Shout out to Sharon Collins. They never get that man enough pub. That man had a good career. And if I'm not mistaken, he's in there Hall of Fame, the Kansas Hall of Fame as well. Got his jersey retired not long ago.
My little nephew KJ, shout out KJ. KJ was like fascinated with Sharon.
Sharon's cold, man.
We used to have debates on who was better, Sharon Collins or Derrick Rose when he was in high school.
Ooh.
It depends on what you're looking for.
When Sharon was a senior and Rose was a junior, me and my nephew, because y'all know I used to bring him to the barbershop with me all the time. And he would, Sharon, go! You know what I'm saying? So that was I like
Sharon, if anybody knows Chicago basketball, it's like Will Bynum 2.0. A little bit bigger.
Yeah.
About the same athleticism. I mean, everybody know Will Bynum.
He ain't got the bounce.
Not the Will gap. Nah, but everybody know Will Bynum because, he played in the pros for a long time and all that. But when he was here in Chicago playing high school basketball, dope too. He gave Dockery run for his money all the time. They had one of the most craziest games I ever seen in my life. Crane versus Julian in the playoffs. That was one of the craziest games I've ever seen in my life when I was a shorty. So, yeah, shout out to all college basketball. I mean, Illinois high school basketball players, man.
Yes, sir.
I could be like, I was thinking before I even did my top 5, I was at first going to be very biased because, growing up in Chicago.
We was going to do we actually was going to do a show. I thought about doing the show on Illinois/Chicago high school ball, especially with the March Madness thing.
Yeah.
And I thought about doing it, but, certain situations came up. We decided to scrap the show. But I had, trust me, I think
we still can revisit that because, that's kind of.
We can, but just one thing about sports is a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I want stuff but that was a good breakthrough.
Throw one out there who I thought was the best, like just being biased, just watching so many games. I used to think was the best college player ever, Cedric Banks. I don't know why. That's like being biased. Like you watch so much like UIC and stuff like that. I used to thought he was the coldest basketball player ever.
He used to get people to work.
Yeah. I feel like we're going a little bit off topic,
cool. We gonna get to teams now. So I'm gonna let we gonna do our 5 favorite teams. So Ralph, I'm gonna let you go. Wrap the show up. Your 5. We're going to go through this one real quick. Your 5 favorite teams that you've seen.
I'm going to go in reverse order. Number 5, the Fab Five. That's what got me watching basketball for college. Hate to say this team. The 94-95 UNC team with Stack, Sheed, and all them on there. That was a good team. If anybody know, they always show their clip of when Stackhouse did the reverse against Duke. Whatever. I already mentioned this team earlier. The 04-05 Arizona Wildcats team that lost to Illinois. Mm-hmm. So, Syracuse, the 02-03 team that won the national championship. But then my number one, Duke, the 2000-2001 national championship.
Obviously.
Of course.
Of course. So, I feel like mine gonna be off the wall because I watch a lot of college basketball.
63 Chicago State.
Nah, I think my first one, I don't know. It was like this. I think I've been a little biased. I used to play with them a lot in NCAA basketball. What was it? 07?
Got to be Kansas.
Nope. 07 Georgia Tech team. It's such.
Oh yeah.
With Thaddeus Young, Javarius Crittleton. They had a kid on there named Lewis Clinch, Anthony Morrow. Like I used to play with that team all the time on NCAA, but I used to it made me watch them a lot too, like in real life. I know that one, like, nobody's like, well, what is that team? Like,
I know the team, but I'm like, hey, man, that's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
That's a far stretch, but I remember you playing. I thought for sure you would have said Kansas on there.
Nah.
You was a big Kirk Heinrich.
No, I hate, I'm a Mizzou fan. I never played with Kansas. I hate Kansas. I ain't never played with them.
Thought for sure you just said somebody like that.
Nah. Next one would be that, what was it, 98 Kentucky team. Was that 98, 97?
Ron Mercer.
With Muhammad, Antoine.
Antoine was in 95, 96.
Okay, yeah, so that's 98. 98 then. 98.
98 was Nazi
Muhammad and Ron Mercer
and all them, yeah. That team.
Well, Ron Mercer came
out. Ron Mercer was gone already, wasn't he? He came out in 97.
He came out in 97.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that team was just like fun to watch. I don't know. I sometimes I just get like infatuated with like certain players and stuff, just like watching them.
That's college ball.
And it's like weird. Nobody would ever know this name, but it was Tubby's son, Saul Smith. I just liked how he played as a point guard. You know what I mean? Like you didn't. I think he's like one of those dudes you put in the category as like a Duke punk or something like that.
He one of them dudes I put when he get overseas.
he like the Boeheim kids that's up
that
play for Syracuse.
He coaching right now, I think. But but I don't know. It's something about that team that just watching them. And third one would be that Illinois team from 05.
Team that got abused by UNC.
Yeah, I mean. Just being in Illinois.
Great team in my book that lost.
They had a squad though, man.
Just watching that team and it's like watching dudes from Chicago, like putting Illinois on the map, even though I'm not a huge Illinois fan, but just sitting here watching them. It's like your boys from Chicago, putting them on the map.
Definitely.
That's three. I think fourth one will probably be that, 2000 Maryland team.
Juan Dixon now?
Yeah, Juan Dixon. Yeah,
Lonnie Baxter now?
Lonnie Baxter and all them.
That's what I call Shaw Lonnie Baxter.
That was my fourth one. He looked like him.
Oh,
Shaw gonna be mad at me.
Shout out Shaw, the OG. You got. Oh, man, I'm done. OG, you on the show again.
My fifth. Let me see. Fifth one, man, that's a tough one. I feel like there's so many great teams out there. That fifth one, I might have to get somebody one of the mid-majors. Just watching. So it might be that George Mason team. What they did. What was that?
To the Final Four?
Yeah, 2012. Was that 2012? 13, 14?
That was just a lucky team.
I know, but it's just like
big man. Didn't he end up going to the NFL or got a trial for the NFL? The big guy on the team, main dude. Something like that.
Yeah.
I got you.
But I just like them top. Just my top five is based on like just watching them play and the magical runs they had and stuff like that.
Your opinion.
I know.
Your opinion. As much as we may side-eye you, I done side-eyed you like 12 times.
I know, that's fine with me.
You just killed me.
You've been side-eyeing me almost my whole life. So
that George Mason team.
Right. So my 5 gonna be the same way, like teams I like grew up watching. So my first one gonna be the '89 Illinois squad that went to the Final
I
Four.
knew you was gonna bring that one up.
That's probably the only time I rooted for the Illinois team. You know, they was just exciting. You know, I liked them. Of course, the '90 UNLV team that beat Duke by 30. You know, they always gonna be my favorite.
We return the favor.
That's okay. I'm gonna piggyback off you, the Fab Five, because they was the first team
To do everything.
that brought swagger to the game. They brought hip hop to the game.
Long shorts, black socks.
They brought hip hop.
Barclays.
They brought the ghetto.
Yeah.
I hate to say it like that. They brought the hood.
They made everybody
To
watch.
college ball.
They brought a new fan base.
They changed the dynamic and they brought the racism out of people, and the people didn't like that.
Did you ever read that the Fab Five book, the Mitch Albom book he wrote? Years. That's a good one. Check it out.
I read. I lived.
I mean, you lived it. Yeah.
The 09 UNC National Championship team with Tyler Hansbrough and Danny Green, Ty Lawson.
Dude, I hate the most. Tyler Hansbrough.
I rocks with them. I like them.
That was a good squad, man.
That's a squad, like I say.
Wasn't Marvin Williams on that team too?
No, he was on 05.
What?
Oh yeah, 05. Yeah, right. Yeah, 05. Yeah.
So with that team, they went through a lot of heartache. Because the year before they lost to Georgetown in the Final Four, or to go to the Final Four. And every year you saw them growing. And then when they came back and won in Tyler senior year, I've always liked that squad. My honorable mention squad would be the '88 Oklahoma Sooners with Stacey King, Harvey Grant, Mookie Blaylock. The reason I hate Kansas to this day, because I thought Oklahoma was gonna win, and then Danny Manning, who I can't stand either, gave, but it should have been a prelude of how he was gonna be in the pros. He gave Stacey King that business. So, but that Oklahoma team nasty. And my 15, I said Oklahoma was my honorable mention, but my 15 would be that 90s Georgia Tech team, Lethal Weapon 3, with Kenny Anderson, Dennis Scott, and I think Brian Oliver. They was nasty. Went to the Final Four, lost to UNLV, but they was giving people that work, but they was exciting. There's a few more teams I can name. You know, the Loyola Marymount.
Yeah.
Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball. Yeah.
You had the Michigan State team with Team
Thieves.
Charlie Bell.
Bo P.
Flintstone, yeah.
The Memphis squad with D Rose.
That squad don't get a lot of
Chris
credit.
Douglas Roberts.
They was
Joey Dorsey.
Nice squad.
They had a good squad.
I'm trying to think.
What about the Oklahoma squad with Blake and his brother?
And
Didn't they go like Sweet 16 or something one of them years?
Yeah.
That was a good squad. I mean, it was only really them, but that was a good squad. They had. I don't remember the guard that was on there too, though.
What team, and Carolina fans forgive me for this, the Duke squad that lost to UConn, Elton Brand.
What was that? Elton Brand.
Was that 99?
The year before they won the championship.
McGetty.
Yeah.
I really liked that Duke squad, but I bet it on UConn.
They were stacked that year.
I bet it on UConn, but I liked that Duke squad. This was real interesting. Our takes. I really like it. But before we close, once again, we do every show. I always say love 1030. Of course, I'm gonna say that. Remember, our tournament challenge is to Know It All Tournament Challenge. Lizelle, you going down, dog. I just want you to know. You can start signing up Monday morning. By the time the show it'll probably be Wednesday or something. But get your brackets. $20 if you think you got what it takes. Come holler at us. Also, be on the lookout. We got a spades tournament coming April 10th I know a lot of y'all think y'all play cards, but I got a size 13 that I kicks. Sorry, Daddy. I kicks ass in spades. So, sign. You know, we can sign up now. $100 per team. You know, we're going to have cash prizes and everything. Once you sign in, we'll give you the location of the tournament. We is not going to say where the tournament located on the podcast. So some mom could try to rob us and get done up.
Right.
You know, trying to be stupid. So, you know, once you sign up, we'll let you know the location of the place. But, you know, we're just trying to have fun, promote the podcast. You know, we're just trying to do a couple things and try to blow it up. So, on that note, on behalf of the Know-It-All, on behalf of my boy Marcus, thanks for coming through. Big Lurch, this is the Know-It-All Jimmy. We'll holler at y'all on the next show.